sends me through the peak without no regret. You got no love without no love. You got no regret without no regret. You got no love. A melody where I belong in this life. Sends me through the peak. Can't we find any light without the music around? There will always be one love on life. Without no love, you got no regret. Without no regret, you got no love.
Words being spoken in a complete sentence.
Hi again, everyone, from Fitzgerald Stadium. From the Superior Siding Black Hills Classic, Post 22 Baseball is on the air. On ESPN Radio, Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and on Hardhats-TV via post22baseball.com. With Mark Benetti, this is Tom Rudebush. Our director on our Hardhats-TV broadcast is Destin Heumann. And Post 22 set to go tonight against Albuquerque, New Mexico. Post 22 entering the game with a record of 24 wins and 3 losses. Albuquerque has a record of 4 wins and 6 losses on the season, including 2 losses yesterday when they played here at Fitzgerald Stadium and lost to Sioux Falls East 13-3, and then lost to Colorado Springs by a score of 9-3. So Albuquerque, Mark Benetti will try to bounce back tonight, and we're going to see a left-hander, Cody Davis. And their coach said he's not a bad pitcher.
And certainly can't be a bad pitcher against this lineup. The Hard Hats have a different look. They don't have the firepower of Timmy Paris in tonight, but they do have Todd Stevens. And while Todd Stevens hasn't had many games in a Hard Hat uniform, we have seen him absolutely crush the ball. So we're looking forward for this Hard Hats club to get the offense going early. They had a chance to do that this morning against Mountain View with a bases-loaded opportunity in the bottom of the first. Only came out with 1 run in that inning. So I'm looking for the Hard Hats to assert themselves early and often, maybe even end this game early tonight.
Post 22 scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning this morning and won their game by a score of 6-4 as they defeated Mountain View out of Colorado. Post 22 got those 2 runs without a base hit in the 6th inning. Jack Sorensen picked up the win with 2 scoreless innings of relief as the starting pitcher Riley McSherry worked the first 5 innings, and Riley gave up 4 runs in his 5 innings. So Post 22 winning by a score of 6-4. Other finals today, 2 games played since then. Sioux Falls West, which Post 22 blasted last night 19-6. West came back and beat Cannon City, Colorado 12-11. And then they defeated Sioux Falls East on this field by a score of 8-4. So West, which didn't look very good last night, comes back and wins 2 games this afternoon. So West is now 2-1 in the tournament. Sioux Falls East had a win yesterday over Albuquerque. They lose here against West, so they're now 1-1. Over at Pete Lean Field, we saw Colorado Springs defeat Upper Deck 10-5, and then Post 320 beat Upper Deck by a score of 13-2. Upper Deck has lost all 3 games they have played now, and 320 is 2-0, and 320 plays Sioux Falls East tonight over at Pete Lean Field. That will be an interesting game. Post 22 continues play here tomorrow. There's 3 games. Post 22's game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock against Sioux Falls East, and we'll have that game on both Hardhats-TV and right here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. Overcast skies right now, but really not much of a chance of rain in the forecast until late tonight, around midnight and later. So really a very comfortable night.
Well, here's hoping we're not playing until midnight tonight. You never know. The game of baseball is funny like that sometimes. But here's hoping that, again, this is a short game. The Hard Hats come out focused. They come out hungry. They come out in attack mode and only attack mode and nothing but attack mode. It'll be interesting to see the 7 innings we have in front of us.
So with the teams in their respective dugouts, Albuquerque, this is the 3rd time this Albuquerque team has been up in Rapid City. It's been about, I think their coach said, about 8 years or so since they were last here. And each team that's come from Albuquerque has been this specific team, and this is a Legion-sanctioned team out in Albuquerque. So they compete in the National Regional down there, and as again, a sanctioned Legion team. 4 wins and 6 losses on the season. Mitch Messer, his team off to a 24-3 record, and Mitch is in his 6th season. Mitch with 268 wins career-wise, 100 losses. I didn't give him any guff about that 100th loss he suffered in Denver last weekend, but 4 consecutive state championships for the Hard Hats, and looking strong here early, but still there are some things we'll like to see. We want to watch Kyle McGuire tonight, see how he locates the ball and how good his control is. But Kyle certainly has pitched some great baseball.
29 2/3 innings worth of baseball for Kyle McGuire. He gets the start tonight. This will be his 10th appearance of the season and his 8th start. We'll get into his stat line in just a moment. I guess that's the perfect cue to go into the starting lineups for tonight's second matchup that the Hardhats are playing in their doubleheader. So like Tom said, they're playing against the Albuquerque La Cueva Bears as they are listed on the program. Here is their lineup as follows. Leading off is number 14, Dawson Burton. Defensively, he's at shortstop. Batting second is number 26, Camden Pfeiffer. He's patrolling left field. Batting third is number 15, Aaron Sanchez. He's in the hot corner at third base. And in the cleanup spot is number 20, Bryce Richardson. He's at first base. Batting fifth is number 9, Josh Apodaca. He's playing second base. Batting sixth is number 16, Caden Siri. He's patrolling center field. Batting seventh is number 19, John Davis. He's the backstopper and catcher. Batting eighth is number 21, Ryan Drury. And rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot is number 22, Cody Davis. As Tom mentioned, he is the lefty on the mound tonight, who will face the Hardhats as they follow in the bottom halves of the 7 innings we have in regulation tonight. Leading off for the Hardhats is number 11, Walker Paz, right back at his home at second base. Batting second is number 13, Zach Solano, once again patrolling right field. Batting third is number 22, Cooper Bowman, out of the shortstop position. And in the cleanup spot is number 23, Eric Petrie. He is once again the designated hitter for the Hardhats. Batting fifth is number 31, Luke Ferdinand, playing first base and moved up along in the batting order. Also, this next gentleman batting sixth, number 28, Zach Sumption. He's patrolling left field. Batting seventh is number 17, Todd Stevens. He is the backstopper and catcher in tonight for Timmy Paris. Batting eighth is number 14, Justin Kramer. He's in the hot corner at third base. And rounding out the batting order for the Hardhats is number 12, Connor King. He is patrolling center field. Like Tom mentioned earlier, Kyle McGuire on the mound. 29 2/3 innings of work under his belt. That is the second highest total on the team as far as innings are concerned. 33 2/3 innings of work are under the belt of Riley McSherry, who leads the club. McGuire again in his 10th appearance of the season, his 8th by virtue of a start. He has a perfect 4-0 record to protect tonight. 32 strikeouts to 21 walks and a nanoscopic whopping 0.236 ERA. Only one earned run allowed in his 29 2/3 innings of work. You take a look at Kyle's 32 strikeouts. That leads the team here, Tom, but we were talking about strikeout to walk ratio this morning in our broadcast. 32 strikeouts to 21 walks. You'd like to see that total a little lopsided, particularly in the K column.
Well, as we talked about earlier too, Mark, this is an important stretch of time here the next 2.5 weeks for the coaches to make decisions on that final 18-man roster. You probably have 16 of the 18 positions pretty well set, but 2 positions probably still open. And this is going to determine this next 2 weeks who's going to be those last 2 on the roster.
It'll be interesting to see how that next step continues with tonight's matchup. The second game of 2 the Hardhats are playing. We have the United States National Anthem coming up in just a few moments. When we come back, we'll have first pitch between Albuquerque and Post 22. You are listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City. Also streamed on the internet at post22baseball.com on Hardhats-TV.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be
your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
We have overcast skies here again. There is a chance of rain late tonight. We had just a few very light sprinkles over the last hour, but nothing that amounted to anything at all. So we are assuming that everything will be a go here for this game tonight without any interruptions as Kyle McGuire takes the mound for post 22.
McGuire set to take on the top three of the Albuquerque batting order in Dawson Burton, the shortstop, Camden Pfeiffer patrolling left field, and Aaron Sanchez, the third baseman. McGuire, we mentioned, his 10th appearance of the season. This is his 8th by virtue of a start, 29 and 2/3 innings of work under his belt. He has a 4-0 record to protect tonight with 32 strikeouts, a team lead to 21 walks, which is also a team lead, and a whopping 0.236 ERA. The defense around him sees him paired up with his battery mate and catcher Todd Stevens. At first is Luke Ferdinand. At second is Walker Paz. At shortstop is Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield, Zach Sumption, Connor King, and Zach Solano. Control, the biggest thing about Kyle McGuire here, Tom. We've talked about it with all these hard hats pitchers. Control is essential. That's a basic thing for us to point out. But particularly with Kyle because of how hard he throws. You can throw as hard as you want, and it doesn't make any difference if you have zero control. So you need to have that control. That's where the difference maker comes with high velocity. Where can you locate your pitches? What's your relationship like with your catcher? Are you guys calling a good game or in a different game? And how do you adjust as the game goes on? So here's hoping that Kyle not only keeps command of that fastball, but he starts throwing in those off-speed and breaking pitches because, especially with his two-seamer, if he gets a lot of movement on it, he will freeze these Albuquerque batters.
So we're almost set to begin here from Fitzgerald Stadium. Again, welcome to all of our viewers on Hardhats-TV, wherever you might be, but all of our listeners on ESPN Radio Rapid City will be on the air tomorrow night with the Sioux Falls East game against Post 22, and then Sunday to wrap up this homestand and the Superior Siding Black Hills Classic at 11:30 Sunday morning with Colorado Springs. Leading off will be Dawson Burton, the shortstop for Albuquerque. Burton is a left-handed batter. Kyle McGuire threw 5 great innings in Denver. Again, shutout innings. Although he had a no decision in that game. Burton, the left-handed batting shortstop, is 2 for 5 so far in the Albuquerque games and takes a fastball just outside for ball 1. We are underway at 6:58 tonight, and our game time temperature 74 degrees. Cloudy skies. And there's a strike at the knees from McGuire, and it's 1-1 on Burton. Albuquerque scoring 6 runs in their first 2 games of the Classic. Outfield is straight away. McGuire's 1-1 pitch, and it's too high, a fastball, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Kramer wide off the bag at third, but even with the third base bag. And there's a strike. A fastball hits the outside edge at the knees, and it's 2-2 on Burton. Kyle's given up 7 runs this year, only 1 earned. There's strike 3, a good fastball, and Burton knew it. McGuire zeroed in on that outside corner above the knees and gets his first strikeout.
You can give him 33 on the season with that K in the scorebook and a backwards one at that. Great start for this Hard Hats club and great start for him. 5 fastballs we saw. He was in attack mode.
Camden Pfeiffer up, the left fielder. Another left-handed batter. and he lifts a pop-up shallow left field. Out goes Bowman, the shortstop, on the outfield grass over near the foul line, and Cooper grabs it for out number 2. So Pfeiffer on the first pitch pops out to Bowman at short. He was 3 for 5 in the 2 games, and here's now Aaron Sanchez, the number 3 hitter and the third baseman. Big right-handed batter. That number 3 hitter is usually considered your best hitter, but Sanchez so far is 0 for 7. Here's the pitch, and a strike at the knees. 0-1 the count. And the pitch on the way. Swing and a foul back. McGuire ahead, 2 strikes. Head coach Josh Garcia coaching at third. Matt Anaya at first base for the Albuquerque Bears. No balls and 2 strikes. McGuire into the windup, and here's his pitch. Check swing and a pitch down in the dirt for a ball. They ruled the pitch a ball, and it's 1-2. Now they want to appeal, but the home plate umpire is not going to allow the appeal. That's always amazed me, that the home plate umpire wouldn't just, on a questionable call like that, go ahead, sure, I'll check.
I mean, as an official of the game, you'd like to get it right, and if you can't see it but somebody else can to make it right, then that's why they're there.
Well, you would think so. Sanchez with a 1-2 pitch. And he takes it low for a ball. So Aaron Sanchez has a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Nobody on here in the Albuquerque top half of the first inning. Kyle McGuire stares in at Sanchez. Now the windup and the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss at a slider. He struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the first inning for Kyle McGuire. 3 up and 3 down for Albuquerque. First half inning of play. Albuquerque fails to score. Post 22 is coming to bat. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Good inning for Kyle McGuire. And now for Post 22, it'll be Walker Paz to lead off against the left-hander Cody Davis of Albuquerque. Post 22, there's 4 statistics, Mark, that just jump out at you if you study the Post 22 stats, and they're just awesome and amazing, the dominance Post has over their opponents. The first one is home runs. They've hit 24 as a team. Their opponents have hit 5. You look at stolen bases. Post 22 has stolen 63 bases in 69 attempts. Their opponents are 10 for 15. And that's a pretty good 50% throwout ratio by Post 22 catchers. So that's very good. Errors. Post 22 has committed 29. Their opponents 51. And in double plays, Post 22 has turned 30. Their opponents 11. That's just complete domination in 4 very key statistics that you look at during the course of the year.
In hockey, we talk about all 3 phases of the game: goaltending, defense, forward lines. Heck, you could even go further: even strength, penalty killing, power play. Well, in baseball, that's dominance in every phase of the game if you had to equate it.
Walker Paz hitting .380. Takes a slow breaking ball for a strike from Cody Davis. 0-1 the count. Walker with 7 doubles, a home run, and 15 RBIs, and takes a pitch outside. Now, Cody Davis, the starting pitcher, is not the tallest man or the biggest kid you'll ever see on the mound. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low in the dirt, 2 balls and a strike, and they don't have the heights or weights listed here, but I would say if he's 5'8", he might be pushing it.
You're not giving me much hope. I'm barely pushing 5'7".
Here's the pitch. Low and outside, so he's behind 3-1. Walker Paz isn't really big, but Walker looks like a giant compared to Cody. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's behind him for ball 4. So after delivering a first pitch strike, Davis then issues a free pass to Walker Paz, and post 22 has the leadoff man on.
Real quick before Zach takes his at-bat, we'll go over the defensive alignment for Albuquerque. Cody Davis is on the mound, just issued the walk to Walker Paz. He's paired up with the catcher, John Davis. First, Bryce Richardson. Second, Josh Apodaca. Short, Dawson Burton. Hot corner at third, Aaron Sanchez. Left to right in the outfield, Camden Pfeiffer, Caden Seary, Ryan Drury.
And Solano looks at a strike on the low outside corner. Zach hitting .355. Hit his 5th home run earlier this morning. He's got 34 RBIs. He and Petrie each have 5 home runs now. The lefty Davis delivers, and he misses outside. The ball gets past the catcher, Davis. So down to second base goes Paz. And the count is 1-1 on Solano. So you have a brother combination as your battery in this game for Albuquerque. The pitch on the way is outside, and it's 2-1. Cody Davis having trouble with his command here to the first couple of hitters. And he misses high and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
That's a special bond already between a pitcher and a catcher, but you throw in the fact that they're both brothers, that makes it even more special.
Cooper Bowman on deck for post 22. Swing and a miss by Solano, and the count is full now, 3-2. Mitch Messer is coaching at first in this game with Nick Ewing over at third.
Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen a brother pitcher-catcher combo before.
3 balls and 2 strikes. They pitch on the way. It's swung on, a fly ball to center. Seary is there. He's in medium deep center. He makes the catch. Tagging up his Paz, he goes to third. So Solano flies out to center, 1 down. Last half of the first inning, no score, and here is Cooper Bowman. The shortstop hitting at .432, 3 home runs and 29 RBIs. Well, Cooper now has the team's longest hitting streak since Petrie lost his 14-game streak in the first game and Sumption lost his 11-game streak. Cooper takes a pitch high. Cooper has a 6-game hitting streak. In the 25 games that he's played this season, out of post 22's 27, he's hit in 23 of those 25 games. And the pitch is low, blocked by Davis, and the count is 2-0 on Cooper Bowman.
That's just absurd to think about, that Cooper Bowman, in 25 games that he's played, has not hit in 2 of them. I mean,
what's wrong with him?
Wow.
Look how deep Seary's playing out in center again. Not much of a breeze tonight, just a little breeze, but not favoring any particular direction. There's a line drive to the left of second for a base hit for Bowman. Cooper has his 30th RBI of the season as Paz scores from third, and post 22 has a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning.
Now you can extend his new hit streak to 7 games. How about that? Great hit right up the middle. Cooper's so poised in that batter's box, and it just seems that as the season's gone on, he's gotten more patient. He's waited for his pitch that he knows he can tattoo. Just a great piece of hitting by Cooper, and just like that, the Hardhats are on the board first.
Another incredible statistic about Cooper, if you look at his hit chart, his base hits are almost equally distributed between left, center, and right. He hits to all fields, whether it's extra base hits or singles, and even his outs are pretty much distributed evenly. There goes the runner. The pitch is a strike, and the throw to second not nearly in time. A stolen base for Cooper Bowman. Cooper's stolen base total now is up to... I'm leaving you in suspense here.
Oh, I'm suspenseful, all right.
That's his 17th in 17 attempts. Pitch to Petrie. Breaking ball high and outside. One ball, one strike.
Totally worth the suspense, by the way. 17 stolen bases. That's remarkable.
One ball and one strike with one out here. Bottom of the first, the pitch on the way. Breaking ball high, and it's 2-1. Two and one on Petrie. 5 homers, 22 RBIs in the season for Eric. Here's the set by Cody Davis. And now a balk has been called. Bobby Bennett calling the balk out there. Behind the pitching mound. So Bowman advances to third. 2-1 on Petrie. The infield will stay back. And a breaking ball is high. And it's 3-1. Luke Ferdinand is on deck. Here's the set by Davis in the pitch. Low and outside, ball 4. So there's the second walk of the inning. Runners at the corners. And that brings up Luke Ferdinand. The first baseman hitting .318. Luke has a couple of doubles on the year, knocked in 8 runs. So it'll be a left-handed hitter against the left-hander Davis here with 1 out.
Earlier today in Game 1, Luke Ferdinand went 1 for 3. His first at-bat was a single, so if he repeats that success, he can give the Hardhats a 2-0 lead right now.
Here's the set by Cody Davis. The pitch to Ferdinand. And an off-speed pitch is inside. Ball 1. One ball and no strikes. And a toss to first base. Left fielder Pfeiffer is shading a bit towards left center on Ferdinand, who takes a letter high pitch for a strike. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Second baseman Apodaca, shortstop Burton, both up a couple of steps. There goes the runner from first. The pitch is inside. No throw is made, and Petrie reaches second base with no throw. And the count to Ferdinand is 2 balls and a strike.
A lot of free passages for these post-22 base runners early in this ballgame.
Now Apodaca drops way back at second, back to his normal position as Ferdinand lifts a high fly ball into shallow left. And it's going to be the shortstop going out to make the catch. And he gets the ball back into the infield. No chance for Bowman to score. So Ferdinand flies out to Burton, the shortstop, in shallow left field. Pfeiffer probably should have caught that ball, but there are 2 outs. And Zach Sumption coming up. Well, Zach had his hitting streak of 11 go down the tubes in the first game. .447, though, still on the season for Sumption. And he makes a late decision at a breaking ball and swings and misses. 1 strike. 1 home run for Zach, 16 RBIs, hitting 6th in the order. Todd Stevens, the catcher, on deck. Breaking ball, strike 2 on the outside corner. 1 run in for post 22. They have runners at second and third, 2 out. Last half of the first inning. 2 strikes on Zach Assumption. A pitch on the way is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Assumption earlier today went 0 for 2 in his last at-bat. The last chance he had to extend the hit streak got walked. Silver lining, he came around to score, but the hit streak, like I said, went down the tube.
Breaking ball struck him out. Off-speed curveball. First strikeout for Cody Davis. Boy, he recovered nicely. What could have been a much bigger inning for Post 22. They end up with 1 run on 1 hit. No Albuquerque errors and 2 men left on base for Post 22. At the end of 1 here from the Superior Siding Black Hills Classic. Post 22 has a 1-0 lead on Albuquerque, and you're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Some folks say it doesn't matter how you get the job done, as long as it gets done. To us, however, we won't be satisfied unless performance is coupled with integrity. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
One nothing Rapid City Post 22 leading Albuquerque here at the end of the first inning of play. Albuquerque is a Legion-sanctioned team down in New Mexico. They will compete for the New Mexico State Legion Championship. This is the 3rd time that this team has visited Rapid City, and it's been about 8 years or so since their last visit. Bryce Richardson coming up, the first baseman. He's batting 4th in the Albuquerque lineup. Good classic so far. He's 3 for 6 with a double. Right-handed batter. Kyle McGuire. Couple of strikeouts in that first inning. I think he had, what was it, Mark? 11 pitches in that first inning?
Yep.
Here's his first pitch, and a fastball strike over the inside corner. 0-1 on Richardson. No balls and a strike. The pitch on the way. Good breaking ball from Kyle is over, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Swinging a chopper foul at the plate. And the count is still 0-2. Albuquerque has 1 game tomorrow. They'll play the 4 o'clock game here against Sioux Falls West. That'll be an interesting game with West bouncing back and winning 2 today. Time is called as Richardson steps out. Outfield straight away. Todd Stevens sets up outside for McGuire on the 0-2 pitch. And it's down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. And a foul. And apparently was not a foul. The throw goes down to first base, and now they rule the hitter out. Boy, that sounded funny.
It looked funny. I could have sworn that was a foul, Tom. I'm right there with you.
3rd strikeout for McGuire. It brings up Josh Apodaca, the second baseman, number 5 hitter for Albuquerque. 1 for 6 so far. Right-handed hitter. McGuire swings into his windup. Here's his pitch. Swung out, a bouncing ball to the right side, out to Paz at second. He fields it and throws to first for the out. Apodaca, first ball hitting, retired second to first. And that'll bring up Caden Seary, the center fielder, number 6 hitter. So Kyle's retired the first 5 men he has faced. Seary 2 for 5, right-handed batter. Here's McGuire's pitch, and it's low and inside. One thing I've noticed about Kyle here in the first 5 hitters, he seems to be very well paced. He's got very relaxed delivery, but he's taking, it seems like, almost the exact same time between every pitch. Check swing and a strike, a slider into Seary, and it's 1-1.
Pacing so important too, not only for the pitcher, but especially as a batter. You want to know what to expect, and they understand what to expect. He's going to take the same amount of time, but Kyle's in a rhythm right now, and I think it's better to say he's in a rhythm, not just a pace.
Fastball in for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Because a rhythm involves getting into a groove. He is in a stride right now, and he's just dominating right now. He is locked in.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Base is empty for Albuquerque here in the second. The pitch is low, and it's 2-2.
And how many times have we talked about it, especially in the last couple of days, Tom, how focus is so critical for these pitchers. That's all we're seeing right now from number 19, and it's refreshing to see that.
2 balls and 2 strikes. He's retired, as we said, 5 in a row to start the game here. The pitch to Seary. Bouncing ball to third. It is a foul ball. Foot or so foul beyond the bag, and the count runs along at 2-2. So far this season, teams are hitting 165 against Kyle. That's about what I hit. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'm sure you're over the Mendoza line.
Bob Euchre and I were about there. Here's the pitch. A foul backing out of play, and it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. I want to welcome any listeners or viewers tonight in the Albuquerque area following their team. Never been to Albuquerque. I've been to New Mexico a couple of times, but never had the chance to get to Albuquerque. And everybody has told me it's a great town. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. And it misses for ball 3.
Everybody was getting ready to walk off the field on that one.
Heather Wilson, who just left the School of Mines as their president, was from Albuquerque, served in Congress from one of the Albuquerque districts. That's how much I'm familiar with Albuquerque. Payoff pitch, low ball 4, so a tough break there for Kyle as it appeared that he had Seary struck out, but he issues his first walk. So John Davis, the number 7 hitter for Albuquerque, comes up. Seary at first base and 2 outs. Davis 0 for 3 so far in the 2 games the Bears have played. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Ferdinand holding with Seary at first base. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike on Davis. Post 22 leading 1-0 here in the top of the second. Seary doesn't have a big lead off at first, and McGuire still will throw over there, though. One and one on the hitter, John Davis. 7th hitter in the Bear batting order. Here's the set by McGuire. The right-hander's pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. King playing a pretty shallow center field right now. 1-2. The pitch on the way is swung on and missed. Davis strikes out. 4th strikeout for Kyle McGuire. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. The Hardhats 1 and Albuquerque nothing. From the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box, you're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
Lower third of the batting order for Post 22 here, as Todd Stevens, Justin Kramer, and Connor King will face left-hander Cody Davis. Battled tough in that first inning. He gave up a run, but he gave up a couple of walks, a single. He had a balk in the inning, but only the one run. So Todd Stevens, who has not had a lot of at-bats for the Hardhats this year, he's catching for Timmy Paris tonight, who caught the first game. Stevens with 15 at-bats and 8 hits for a .533 average. That's what Benetti hit in his career. 4 doubles, a home run, and 9 RBIs.
I hit that in T-ball, actually. It's my best season ever of baseball.
Stevens, a right-handed batter, takes a pitch high and outside, ball 1. One ball and no strikes, and there's a strike on the outside corner. 1-1. I'm just looking again at the center fielder Siri, where he's playing compared to where Connor King was playing. Breaking ball inside. Must be about 25 feet difference. King playing much more shallow than Siri here. He is for Albuquerque. 2 balls and 1 strike on Stevens. The pitch on the way. Swung on, line to left field. That'll be in for a hit. Played on the hop by Pfeiffer, and Stevens with a solid single to left. Hit number 2 for Post 22. Here in the last half of the second, and Justin Kramer coming up. Justin has been a hot hitter lately, but I look back, he missed hitting in one game. I thought he might have a little bit of a hitting streak, but he's at .400 on the year. He hit his 3rd home run earlier today and 14 RBIs. Right-handed batter, and here's the pitch. And he takes it high and outside. I came to the ballpark tonight for our game, Mark. I usually come in through the hitting structure there. The team was in there, and I walked by Kramer and asked if he was flexing his muscles tonight because he's really hit a couple of hard balls this year for home runs. Takes a pitch down low, and it's 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and time is called. You know, that's one thing that, again, I think the hitters get away with a lot. That umpire's got to sometimes deny time and let the pitcher throw his pitch, whether the batter's in the batter's box or not. The pitcher was already into his windup when time was called.
Not to mention, too, that puts a lot on the pitcher. Number one, it's a needless pitch that he doesn't have to throw at that point, but trying to stop that motion when you realize time's called, that's dangerous.
There goes the runner. Kramer takes a strike. The throw to second, not in time. Well, there we go. A second stolen base for post 22. 65 steals and 71 attempts now for them on the season. And there's probably been several other bases they've taken where they ruled it an uncontested stolen base, so they don't even count it. Here's the pitch on the way. Kramer hits a foul out of play to the right. Still 1-2 on Kramer with Stevens now at second base. Nobody out here in the last of the second. Post 22 got an RBI single from Cooper Bowman in the first inning. They lead 1-0. Here's the set by Cody Davis. His 1-2 pitch. Another foul off to the right. Kramer hanging tough at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Number 9 hitter Connor King on deck. One ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on a fly ball to right. Drury in his tracks makes the catch. Tagging up is Stevens. He'll go to third. 1 out now for post 22 and a runner on third base as Kramer flies to right. And that'll bring up Connor King, the center fielder. Connor, a left-handed batter, hitting .244. 3 doubles, a home run, and 18 RBIs. Left-hander against left-hander. The infield is going to stay back for Albuquerque. And the pitch is too high for ball 1.
Connor has a .400 batting average with runners in scoring position. Bodes well for the Hardhats with a man standing 90 feet from home.
And that pitch just misses inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. The count runs to 3-0 on Connor. Three balls, no strikes. Stevens down the line at third. And the pitch on the way. And it's a ball inside. And King walks. So runners at the corners for post 22, and here's Walker Paz.
Well, if I'm Albuquerque, I can limit the damage again with the double play to end the inning. But if I'm Walker Paz, I've got a .300 batting average with runners in scoring position and men on either side of me at the base path. And he's already been on there once. His patience got him there with a walk.
There goes the runner from first. The pitch is a ball. And the throw goes by 2 fielders, the second baseman and the shortstop. In to score comes Stevens. King advances to third on the throwing error. You know, it's funny. The catcher's going to get that throwing error, but again, that is not his fault. How either of the second baseman or shortstop missed that ball with the shortstop backing up the second baseman. How many needless errors have we seen this year by our opponents? That's just not good baseball. And you feel bad for the catcher, John Davis. So a runner at third. 2-0 post 22 now with 1 out. King at third and Paz with a 1-ball count. There's a hot ground ball. It's fair over first and down the right field line, rolling down towards the corner. Walker will go to second base with a stand-up double as King scores. And it's 3-0 Rapid City. Connors, King scoring, and Paz getting his 8th double of the year, his 16th RBI. Third hit in the game for post 22, and they lead 3-0. And Zach Solano comes up. Zach flied to center his first at bat. and takes a breaking ball high for ball one. One ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch on the way, and now they've called the balk again. Running off of second was Paz, and he kind of, I don't know whether he was trying to, whether he just got too far off the bag, but the pitcher jerked. So there's the second balk of the inning, or of the game, I should say, on John Davis. How many balks have we seen this year? There's a foul down the right field line by Solano out of play, and the count is 1-1.
I'd have to honestly say, Tom, those may have been number 3 and number 4 on the year, and that's being generous as far as how many balks we've seen, whether it's the Hardhats or the opponent.
3-0 now. The Hardhats leading here in the bottom of the second. Still only one out with a runner at third. Now Solano asks for time. Here's the set. And the pitch. Down in the dirt for a ball. Blocked by the catcher. It rolls off to the left of home plate, and the count is 2-1 on Solano.
Talk about a lot of these errors here, Tom. Only one is in the scorebook right now for Albuquerque, but 2 balks, a pass ball, a wild pitch, the error on the throw. I mean, one error doesn't summarize really how this defense has been right now.
2-1 pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Two balls and 2 strikes, the count. And the pitch on the way, low and inside, and we have a full count. Full count on Solano. Cooper Bowman will bat next. Paz leads from third. Here's the set by Cody Davis. The 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 on the low outside corner. Second strikeout for Cody Davis, 2 down. And it brings up Cooper Bowman. Bowman singled to center to drive in a run in the first inning. Cooper's 30th of the year. And the pitch is a check swing, but he went too far. Pitch outside, and Cooper is behind. No balls and a strike. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. A line drive to the right of second into center field for a base hit. Bowman has his second hit, second RBI. Paz crossing the plate to make it 4-0. Post 22 here in the second inning. 31 RBIs now for Cooper. He's creeping up on Timmy Paris, who still has the team lead in RBIs with 32. Bowman now with 31. And I'm wrong. Zach Solano has 34. Zach is leading the team in RBIs after his 3-run homer this morning. There's a high fly ball into shallow right center field, hit off the bat of Petrie. And the second baseman goes out, and he doesn't get the ball. It drops. In to score comes Bowman, and Petrie ends up at second.
How many times have we talked about that Bermuda Triangle out there, Tom? 3 gentlemen converging on the ball, not a single one of them. Actually 4, because the shortstop came out too. That's why Eric was easily able to take second. Nobody was covering it.
Here's a ball inside to Ferdinand. 5-0 now, post 22. They put an error up on the scoreboard. And there's a pitch in the dirt, bouncing up the third baseline. And over to third base goes Petrie.
Actually, Tom, I think that error is from earlier with the catcher. I think another error should be up there.
Oh,
I think
that's
you're
right.
absolutely right, but they've ruled that a hit.
Well, who are you going to give the air on? That's that old thing we've been talking about.
Right. Yeah, the team error. Yeah. I hope they institute that soon. I think we can look back at all this film and make the case on it.
Petrie getting a double. That would be his 7th. And the pitch is a ball to Ferdinand. 3-0. 5-0. Rapid City leading here in the second inning. Petrie at third with 2 out. A 3-0 count on Ferdinand. And there's a strike, and it's 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Strike 2, called at the knees, and it's a full count. Luke popped to short his first time up. Burton went out on the outfield grass to grab it. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch on the way, and it's inside, ball 4. Ferdinand walks. Walk number 4 given up by Cody Davis. Here's Zach Sumption, who struck out swinging to end the first inning. And Zach becomes the 9th man to hit here in the second. Runners at the corners and 2 out. 4 runs in for Rapid City. Hardhats lead Albuquerque here 5-0. Here's the pitch, and it's low and outside for a ball. There is really no championship game, as I understand it, because they have everybody slated on Sunday. Fly ball center field off the bat of Sumption. Tracking it is Siri, and he makes the catch. Medium deep center. 9 men come to the plate for post 22. 4 runs for post 22. 4 hits in the inning. There was an error and 2 men left on base. End of 2 here from Fitzgerald Stadium. It's the Hardhats 5, Albuquerque nothing. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
We head to the top half of the third inning. Kyle McGuire, 1 base on balls in the first 2 innings and 4 strikeouts. Let's see, where was that tournament rule I was reading to you the other day about 5 warm-up pitches in between innings, and they were going to enforce it, it said, on the rule sheet?
It was on a different sheet you had up here. I can't remember where you put it, but I do recall, because you read right off. Yeah. Read right off of it.
I must be getting tired tonight. 5-0, post 22 leading, and here is Ryan Drury, the right fielder for the Bears. He's a right-handed batter, hitting number 8 in the order, 1 for 2 so far in Albuquerque's 2 games. Here's the windup by Kyle McGuire, and his pitch on the way. Swung on, a bouncing ball past the mound out to second base, fielded by Paz, and he throws to Ferdinand for the out. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top of the third inning for Albuquerque. Here's the pitcher, Cody Davis. Left-handed thrower, left-handed hitter. 0 for 7 so far in the 2 games. One thing about Albuquerque as they came up, they drove to Denver and then drove in from Denver. Split the trip up into 2 segments as Davis hits a foul back to the screen. They don't have a lot of deep bench. They have 12 men here on their roster, which means they have 3 subs. No balls and a strike. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2.
That's got to be tough when you're so short benched in a situation like this. You're down 5-0. You might have to make a change on the mound, maybe some other defensive things, offensive too. That's a tough spot to be in.
0-2 pitch. Low and outside. Coaches from Albuquerque were telling me, Mark, before the game, they're kind of running into the same problem in the Albuquerque area that the coaches up in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area are running into, and that's these traveling teams. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Davis. The pitch on the way is a foul back to the screen. And what those are is, players, you don't have to be from any particular high school. They don't have a sanctioned league they play in or national affiliation. They just play games, but travel around to different states, supposedly play other top teams. 1-2 pitch, very high for a ball, so that's cut down on some of the Legion participation for some of these teams in the larger metro areas. And of course, those all-star teams, those traveling teams, they aren't free. I mean, those families fork out some money. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Sliced foul off to the left. Still 2-2 on Davis. Top of the order, and Dawson Burton, the shortstop, on deck.
I wish the American Legion had a bigger national presence, was more mainstream as well, because I didn't really know much about it until I moved out here to Rapid City, and obviously so, but I'd like to see it more mainstream.
And strike 3 called on the outside corner, a fastball. And there are 2 outs. 5th strikeout for McGuire. Well, the Legion does have more teams affiliated with it than any other, like Connie Mack baseball or NBC baseball or any type of association like that. But their numbers have slowly been declining over the last 10 or 12 years. They still have almost 3,000 teams, I think, sanctioned across the country. Pitch is high and outside, a fastball to Burton, who was called out on strikes in the first inning. But I know Mitch Messer was saying that the National Legion now is going to form an advisory committee of people throughout the country, most of them coaches, to try to address some of these issues. There's a drive to left field. Sumption is there, and he makes the catch. Burton lines out to Sumption in left field, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle McGuire. We head to the last half of the 3rd inning now, and Post 22 leads Albuquerque 5-0. Post 22 Baseball on Hardhat-TV via post22baseball.com and also on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1940.
Well, Mark, are you going to share with us tonight this big secret you're going to reveal on Monday?
I'm sworn to oath by my general manager, Joe Ferris. I can't say anything. We were going to initially, and then I was handed a piece of paper from Joe that told me I couldn't. So we're going to have to wait until 1 o'clock on Monday. I promise you, those Rush fans listening right now or watching right now, you cannot miss this announcement on Monday. There's no press conference or anything. It's just an announcement. But you cannot miss it Monday at 1 o'clock.
Well, I saw that post on Facebook that you had this afternoon, and I really think what you did was crummy. To make us wait till Monday, you build it up, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm so disappointed in you.
I like my job sometimes.
Well, that's a good point. Todd Stevens singled to left. His first at bat last inning against Cody Davis. 1 ball, no strikes. Justin Kramer and Connor King to follow. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hard ground ball, fair down the left field line. A diving attempt by Sanchez at third. And a big turn around second by Stevens, but he'll hang on with a single. Well, Todd is 2 for 2. Came in at 533. So Todd now has 10 hits in 17 at bats on the season.
It's a shame, too, Tom. That could have been a double. He stumbled rounding first to go to second. It looked like he got a cleat caught somewhere or whatnot, but that could have easily been 2 bags.
There's an Aaron pickoff throw to first base by Cody Davis. And Stevens goes to second. The third error of the game now for... Well, they've only got 2. Well, we had the throwing error. And then they called that ball hit the center by Petrie a double. And this is their second error now of the game. So it's a runner at second, Kramer up. Fly to right is first at bat. He bunts it towards third. This is going foul about a third of the way down. 1 strike on Kramer. Post 22 came into the game averaging 10.7 runs per game. They've held that over 10 runs a game the whole season. It was just over 11.1 in its season high after they had played a few games. 348 is the team average. There's a fly ball to right again off the bat of Kramer. Drury, the right fielder, makes the catch. Tagging up is Stevens. He'll head to third. So Kramer is 0 for 2. A couple of fly balls to right. 1 down in the post 22 third. They lead Albuquerque 5-0, and it brings up Connor King, who walked and scored in the second.
I've noticed something here, Tom, and I think you've noticed it too. Anytime there's been a fly ball and a runner on a base, the runner is advanced after the ball's been caught. Does that seem elementary to point out? Yes, but I think it's the Hardhats have recognized that these outfield arms are not that strong, so they're taking chances on these bases, and they're being rewarded by taking that risk.
Breaking ball into Connor for a strike, and it's 0-1. They're going to keep the infield back here with 1 out and a runner at third base. Pitch on the way. Swing and a foul at the plate, and it's 0-2. I want to thank the Superior Siding Company for sponsoring this Black Hills Classic. They have a little display here at the stadium. Boy, there's a lot of fantastic siding they can add to your house. In fact, I'm kind of interested in one. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way is a breaking ball. Hits Connor King. It's almost like Connor kind of leaned into that. So he's hit by a pitch. Runners at first and third for Walker Paz. And here comes the coach out. And I think he's wondering the same thing. He's talking with the home plate umpire. I can tell you one thing, that'll go nowhere. So he returns to the first base dugout. That's Josh Garcia. You know, I'm not so sure that pitch wasn't very close to a strike. So runners at the corners. Let's see if King is off and running from first base here as Paz is up. Walker is a walk and a double. And the pitch is a ball. And that's 1 ball, no strikes. 2 runs scored for Walker and an RBI. 5-0 here in the last half of the third inning. Here's the set by Davis. There goes the runner. The pitch is up over his head, and no throw will be made to second base. Second and third now. Stevens at third, King at second. 2-0 on Paz. And the pitch. High for ball 3. 3-0. Hardhats here tomorrow night. Should be a very good game against Sioux Falls East. 7 o'clock for the first pitch tomorrow night. And there's ball 4 inside, and Paz walks. Second walk for for Walker. Connor King going down to second. Todd Stevens on at first. Their bases are loaded. Here comes Josh Garcia out of the Albuquerque Bear dugout. And he wants to talk with his left-hander, Cody Davis. The entire infield will now join them. And this is kind of a new thing that's developed over the last 4 or 5 years, these infield conferences.
It's interesting that it doesn't happen more often, to be honest. But and especially the higher that you go. But the more I think about it, they've got a signal for just about anything you could think of at the professional level. I'm sure there's a signal from the dugout to the bullpen making dinner orders sometimes. So I guess you don't see it at the professional level a lot of times simply because there's a signal for this and a signal for that. 9 times out of 10 it's going to come from your catcher. But I guess at these levels, especially at the American Legion level, you're dealing with impressionable young men. So you bring everybody out and you make it a learning experience, a nice little kumbaya moment, and everybody goes home with something taken out of it.
Zach Solano, it's a high fly ball to right field, medium deep. Drury, the right fielder, will make the catch. Tagging up and coming home is Stevens. And the other runners move up also to second and third. Sacrifice fly for Solano. Zach had flied to center, been called out on strike, so he gets his team leading 35th RBI of the season, knocking in Stevens 6-0 now, post 22. And both runners move up on a fly ball to right field.
And I can't explain that. The right fielder double clutched the ball and then threw home. Wow.
Pitch is outside to Cooper Bowman, who has 2 singles to center and 2 RBIs, plus a run scored, plus a stolen base. Plus, he said he washed his uniform between games. He just does it all. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. And it's a ball outside. You know, if you would ask that question before the game, what player washed his uniform between games, I would have said Cooper Bowman.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you wash your shirt between games?
I did not.
Pitch is low for a ball.
I did not. If I had time to, maybe I would have considered it, but I most certainly did not. So I went home. I took a roommate to the airport to go to Chicago, went back to the office, cranked out a couple of things. I had no time to wash my shirt.
3 balls and no strikes on Cooper. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's a strike. 3-1. Runners at second and third with 2 outs here in the third for post 22. They lead 6-0. Here's the pitch. Hit up the middle. 3rd consecutive hit for Cooper Bowman, right up the middle. A 2-run single. And Cooper now with 4 RBIs tonight as King and Paz score. It's a 3-run third. And it's now 8-0 for post 22. Bowman now with 33 RBIs in the season. He moves into second place on the team in RBIs, 2 behind Solano. And here is Eric Petrie.
You talked earlier how Bowman can hit to any field. That is what makes him so hard to defend. And he hits one to the left center. It's a single left center by the left side of the shortstop. Then the next one is to the right of the second baseman. This one's right over second, but you can't defend that.
Eric Petrie swings and misses at a breaking ball for strike 1. Center fielder Siri. If he was playing any deeper, he'd be on the other side of the fence out there in center field. He is way out there in deep center for Petrie. There goes the runner. Eric lifts a fly ball to right field. Drury trotting in, getting to it out there, and Drury, the right fielder, grabs it to retire the side. Good inning, though, for post 22. They add more runs to their lead. 3 runs on 2 hits in the inning. There was 1 Albuquerque error and 1 man left on base. Mark Benetti will take over as we head to the 4th inning now with his clean new shirt. Post 22 leads 8-0 over Albuquerque from the Anytime Auto Sales press box You're listening to Hard Hat Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
All set now for the top half of the fourth inning here at the Fitz. Post 22 back to their respective defensive positions as Kyle McGuire comes back to the mound. He has played some outstanding baseball tonight. 39 pitches under his belt in 3 innings. And the Hardhats now have an 8-0 lead to protect as he comes back on to throw his 40th pitch. McGuire will face 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Camden Pfeiffer, Aaron Sanchez, and Bryce Richardson. Numbers across the board here in the fourth inning. For Albuquerque, the La Cueva Bears, it's no runs, no hits, 2 errors on defense. And for the Hardhats, it's 8 runs on 7 hits with no errors as well. Kyle's had a great start so far, and he's had plenty of offense to back him up. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all the action tonight here in the Superior Siding Black Hills Classic. This pool being played at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. First pitch from McGuire to start off the top of the fourth is low to Camden Pfeiffer, the left-handed hitting left fielder for Albuquerque. He's 0 for 1, a pop out to Cooper Bowman. Moved over to about third base to go make the catch back in the top of the first. 1-0 from McGuire. Low and inside on a fastball, 2 balls, no strikes to count. So now Kyle has just thrown his 41st pitch of this start. His 8th start of the season, 10th appearance overall for the Hardhats. Perfect 4-0 record to protect for himself. 2-0. Fastball catches the outside corner at the knees. 2 balls and a strike now the count to Pfeiffer. He's followed by Aaron Sanchez, who has a strikeout, and Bryce Richardson, who has a strikeout. McGuire's registered 5 of those in the start. Team leading 37 Ks. 2-1. Swung on, and that ball is fouled. And the count evens up now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. McGuire's now a pitch away from his 6th K in the scorebook. Deuces on either side of the count. Bases are empty, no outs here top of the fourth. The Hardhats with an 8-0 lead. Full windup for the righty McGuire, and he deals a 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. The ball is dropped. Stevens gets it. His throw to first is in time. So that is the second K23 in the scorebook. It is also the 6th K being written next to Kyle McGuire's name. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense here in the top of the fourth will bring us to Aaron Sanchez. So Sanchez comes up. He struck out swinging to end the top half of the first. That was a frame in which McGuire registered 2 Ks. First pitch to Sanchez. That's a called strike at the belt of Albuquerque's third baseman, 0-1 the count. Hardhats trying to protect an 8-0 lead here in the top of the fourth. Bases are empty, 1 out here for Aaron Sanchez. Full windup for McGuire. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. McGuire took a boatload of speed off of that. Nice changeup to Sanchez. 0-2 now the count. Looking for his 7th K. Now of the start. Full windup for McGuire. 0-2 to Sanchez. Swung on and fouled. And the Albuquerque third baseman stays alive. No balls, 2 strikes. Hardhats with an 8-0 lead here in the top of the fourth. 1 out, nobody on the base path for Albuquerque. And here comes the 0-2. That's low. And skips to the backstop. Nobody on the base path to threaten on that sequence. So a ball and 2 strikes now the count here to Sanchez. Sky's cleared up just a little bit here. It's been pretty overcast most of the night, though. Some light glimmering through. 1-2. That rides upstairs on a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But Tom mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, no breeze at all. It is dead out there. Old Glory out in left center is not waving at all. 2-2. Swung on, and that ball is ripped into center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Connor King comes in to field it and gets it into the relay at second. That is the first hit of the ball game for Albuquerque. And it comes off the bat of Aaron Sanchez. So there's a man on with one out, and that's now going to bring us to Bryce Richardson, who was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Kyle McGuire was working on quite the no-hitter. Only allowed the one free pass, which arguments could be made. It should have been a backwards K in the scorebook instead of a base on balls, but nonetheless, that's the first hit he has surrendered. And it brings us to Bryce Richardson with the man on first and one out here in the top of the fourth. First pitch is high. It's off the glove of Todd Stevens, and taking second is Sanchez. So a passed ball allows him to put himself in scoring position. 1-0 is now the count here to Richardson, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 8-0 is the Hardhats lead in the top of the fourth. Now a man 180 feet away from scoring for Albuquerque on second with one out. So a routine double play is out of question to end the inning. 1-0. Rides up high, 2 balls, no strikes. Of course, a double play will still end it, but a nice routine 5-4-3, 6-4-3, 4-6-3, anything easy in the infield. Can't get the force. It'd have to be quite an imaginative double play to end this one. 2-0 for McGuire. That's a fastball called strike at the knees of Richardson. 2-1 now the count. Josh Apodaca's on deck. He grounded out to second to Walker Paz. McGuire checks the runner at second. And Sanchez, here comes the 2-1. Fastball misses low. 3 balls and a strike now from McGuire to Richardson. McGuire looking in for a sign. He agrees on one with Todd Stevens as catcher. Check at second, 3-1. Fastball in for strike 2 on the inside corner. And now Bryce Richardson is staring at a full count pitch to be delivered by Kyle McGuire. McGuire could get his 7th strikeout on the next pitch. Give 2 outs with a man on second here in the top of the fourth. Payoff pitch. Caught him looking, strike 3. And there is the 7th strikeout for McGuire. 2 down. Sanchez still in scoring position on second. That's going to bring us to Josh Apodaca. This is the 3rd inning, by the way, and 4 in this start in which McGuire has 2 strikeouts under his belt. He has been sensational. So the man on second, 2 outs, top of the fourth. Hardhats with an 8-0 lead. First pitch to Apodaca, swing and a miss. 0-1 the count to the Albuquerque second baseman. He is 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. Looking to keep this inning going. A base hit would score a run. At least you'd think. 0-1. Misses low. Stevens a nice block, and the count evens up to a ball and a strike. Should Apodaca be the final out, the Hardhats will transition to offense in the bottom half of the fourth. Leading off is Luke Ferdinand, the left-handed hitting first baseman, followed by Zach Sumption, the left fielder, and Todd Stevens, the backstopper. 1-1 from McGuire. Called strike outside corner on a fastball. Ball and 2 strikes now the count to Josh Apodaca. Infield at its normal depth. The outfield straight away. King, medium depth there at center field. 1-2. Swung on and just fouled out of play. And the count will hold at 1-2. McGuire's just thrown his 60th pitch of this ballgame. So an elevated pitch count compared to his normal average in the past 3 innings that he's pitched. Ball and 2 strikes the count. He's looking for his 8th strikeout. And McGuire deals to Apodaca. A ball low. Stevens looking for it. Sanchez did not take a chance at third, so he will still remain on second. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count. Took Stevens a while. I'm sure Sanchez could have made it safely, but you're in scoring position. You don't want to take the risk and be that last out. So it was a smart move by Sanchez. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. And McGuire deals. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The 8th strikeout of the ballgame for Kyle McGuire. He strikes out 3 out of 4 batters faced in this inning. No runs, a hit, no errors. 1 man left on the base path. That was Aaron Sanchez in scoring position. We're at halftime, if you will, of this ballgame. 3.5 innings out of 7 of regulation have been played, and the Hardhats' commanding 8-0 lead is still intact. They'll go back to the sticks. The bottom half of the 4th with Luke Ferdinand, Zach Sumption, and Todd Stevens due up. Stick around, folks. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, ESPN Radio, Rapid City, on 1340 AM, 105.7 FM. And as always, we are broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here at the Fitz.
Some folks say it doesn't matter how you get the job done, as long as it gets done. To us, however, we won't be satisfied unless performance is coupled with integrity. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Looks like we have a pinch hitter to start off the bottom half of the 4th. Will Moore now comes into the game for Luke Ferdinand. Will also plays first base, so that'll just be a clean swap on defense. Moore, the left-handed throwing, right-handed hitting first baseman, deals at a first pitch strike and then fouls one off. He's quickly behind 0-2. So Ferdinand finishes the day 0-1 with a walk. Will Moore now up to the batter's box. 276 batting average. This is the 11th game in which he has played offensively. 3 singles, 3 doubles, 2 triples. 3 runs knocked in. His 0-2 pitch misses low for ball 1. So ball and 2 strikes now the count here to Will Moore. Followed by Zach Sumption and Todd Stevens, barring any other offensive substitutions. 1-2 for Moore. Caught him looking. Strike 3 on a high and outside breaking ball. Oof, Will was not happy with that one. That is a backwards K in the scorebook. The 3rd strikeout for Cody Davis, who stays on the mound. That'll bring us to Zach Sumption. So Sumption's up. He's 0-2 in this ballgame. And first pitch he sees, high and away. Surprised that wasn't strike 1. It's ball 1 instead. 1-0 the count here to Sumption. He saw his 11-game hitting streak snap this morning. Went 0-2 with a walk in game 1. Looks at strike 1 outside corner, and the count evens up to a ball and a strike. In this game, he's 0-2. He has a strikeout under his belt, and he flew out to center field. Both times ended the inning. 1-1. Swung on. That ball's hit high in the air to center. The Bermuda Triangle forms, and that ball is going to drop between all 3 of them, and Zach Sumption's going to take 2 bases. So it's going to rule as a double. Even though the center fielder had the best play on the ball in Caden Seary, and he dove, couldn't make the play, but the ball dropped, and Zach Sumption's on second base with his first hit of the entire day.
And why did he have to dive at it?
Because he misjudged it right out of the gate.
He was playing too deep to begin with. I mean, he was 20 feet, 25 feet deeper than what Connor King would play. There's no wind in this game. And, again, that was a routine fly ball, and it ends up as a double.
So now here comes Todd Stevens, and his first pitch is a called strike at his belt. 0-1 the count here to Stevens. He has a pair of singles, a pair of runs scored. 2 for 2 on the ball game. Sumption takes his lead off second. 0-1. High and away. A ball and a strike. Justin Kramer's on deck. He's 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. 1 ball, 1 strike the count here to Todd Stevens. Taking over for Timmy Paris at catcher tonight. 1-1. Breaking pitch up high. 2 balls and a strike. And it looks like the Davis brothers, Cody on the mound and John the catcher, will have another quick conference, and back to it they go. I actually just noticed the license plate on the gentleman in the on-deck circle for the Hardhats. That is not Justin Kramer. That's actually Dylan Ritchie. So it looks like Kramer will be substituted out for Dylan Ritchie in this ballgame. 2 balls and a strike the count here to Todd Stevens, and the pitch is outside. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Stevens has Sumption on second with that bloop double. The Bermuda Triangle, like I said, a whole bunch of stuff gets lost in there, and what could have been the second out of the inning was lost between 3 gentlemen. Shortstop, the second baseman, and the center fielder. 3-1 is fouled by Stevens. His count goes full. So payoff pitch coming here to Stevens. Cody Davis looking for his 4th strikeout in this start against Post 22. And payoff pitch behind him, ball 4. Maybe even clipped him. Either way, he's got a free pass to first. So Stevens will take a base on balls. That puts men on first and second now, still with 1 out in the inning. And it'll bring us to Dylan Ritchie, who comes in to hit for Justin Kramer. Ritchie has, under his belt, 3 at-bats, does not have a hit. He does have 4 plate appearances. He has been walked once, and he's also struck out once. And the first pitch that he sees is low for ball 1. So he takes over for Kramer, who went 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts to right field. Men on first and second here for Ritchie, a 1-0 count and 1 out here. In the bottom half of the 4th, the Hardhats with an 8-0 lead. And the 1-0. Swung on, and that ball's hit to short. Stop is made on the play by Burton, and his play to second is null and void. The throw to second didn't really get there cleanly, as sliding into second was Todd Stevens. So everybody's safe, bases loaded, 1 out, and that'll bring us to Connor King. Or, actually, no, Holden Jackson's going to pinch hit for him. So Ritchie gets an infield single. Should have been a 6-4 fielder's choice at the minimum. Could have even been set up for an inning-ending double play, but they're actually charging that an error. And it'll be an E4 to Ritchie. Just saw the error counter go up on the scoreboard. Holden Jackson looks at strike 1. He has the bases loaded and 1 out now. And the 0-1 pitch, breaking pitch outside for a 1-1 count. Holden Jackson, a .250 batting average, 3 hits and 12 at-bats, 2 singles and a triple. And his 1-1 is a fastball in the outside corner for strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes now the count here to Jackson. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. 8-0's the Hardhats lead. A good swing of the bat for Jackson. He could add to that run total. 1-2. Breaking pitch high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Holden Jackson will most likely step in at center field in place of King, unless they play musical chairs at the outfield positions. 2-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Jackson goes down on strikes. That is the 4th strikeout in this start for Cody Davis on the mound for Albuquerque. 2 down, still bases loaded, brings us to the top of the order. And now Tommy Wall is going to come in at second base for Walker Paz, who went 1 for 1 with a ribby double, a pair of walks, and a trio of runs scored. So everybody coming in for the Hardhats now. First pitch to Wall, low and away. Ball 1. Tommy Wall on the season has a .324 batting average, 11 hits and 34 plate appearances, 8 singles, and a trio of doubles. His 1-0 pitch is outside. 2 balls, no strikes to Wall. Barring offensive substitutions even further, Zach Solano is on deck. 0 for 3, but he does have, 0 for 2. He does have an RBI sac fly, though. 2-0. Inside on Wall, almost clipped him. 3 balls, no strikes to count. And if my pitch counter's not lying to me, Cody Davis now has 103 pitches thrown in this ballgame, which adds even more to the woes of Albuquerque. They only have 3 reserves on their roster. They only brought 12 players with them. 3 balls, no strikes to count here to Wall. He has the bases loaded, and the pitch is a called strike at the knees, outside corner of Wall. 3-1. One pitch could keep the at-bat going. One pitch could knock in a run and bring up Solano. And the 3-1 to Wall. Called strike outside corner, and now the count goes full. That was the pitch that could keep this at-bat going. Payoff pitch now to Wall. Davis has already issued a base on balls with a full count in this inning. And payoff pitch, everybody's going. Caught him looking, strike 3. And Tommy Wall can't believe it. That ball looked like it was a mile away from the plate, but he's rung up. It's a backwards K, and that will retire the Hardhats here in the bottom of the 4th. Well, no runs for the Hardhats on 1 hit. There was 1 error charge to the Albuquerque defense, and the bases are somehow left loaded. 4 innings in the books, and the Hardhats still have an 8-0 lead to protect as we come to the top half of the 5th inning. Kyle McGuire back on the mound. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks. From the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box, you're listening to Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Hey. Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Kyle McGuire back on the mound now for the Hardhats. Plenty of defensive substitutions. To recap for you, basically everywhere in the infield except Cooper Bowman has been substituted. Will Moore is now at first for Luke Ferdinand. Tommy Wall's now at second for Walker Paz. Dylan Ritchie's now out at third for Justin Kramer. Holden Jackson, as of right now, the only substitution on defense. It looks like they have him playing right field, and they have Zach Solano now at center. Zach Sumption is also still in left field as of right now, as long as both my eyesight and Tom's eyesight aren't failing us. Top of the 5th inning. McGuire deals the first pitch to Caden Siri, the center fielder, and it misses for ball 1. Numbers across the board through 4 innings for Albuquerque. No runs, a hit, 3 errors, and the Hardhats 8 runs, 8 hits, and not a single blemish on defense. 1-0 from McGuire to Siri. Swung on, and that ball's lined over the head of Tommy Wall and into right field for a base hit. So Jackson comes into field. And it's a leadoff single for Caden Siri. Now 1 for 1 with a walk in this ballgame. And that'll bring us to John Davis, the catcher. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. So 8-0, the Hardhats have the lead. Just the second hit surrendered by Kyle McGuire, who has simply been dynamite tonight. Bunt is showed. First pitch is popped up, and Ritchie can't make the grab. Cooper Bowman can't barehand the ball, and everybody's going to be safe. That could have been catastrophic for Albuquerque, trying to lay the bunt down. They certainly didn't lay it down, but they did get a hit. So at first is John Davis. At second now is Caden Siri. They have not ruled whether or not that will be an error on anybody. It looks like it's going to be a hit. Bunt single. So now men on first and second brings up Ryan Drury, the right fielder. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. It looks like time is called, and we're going to get a courtesy runner here. John Davis, the catcher, is allowed to be substituted for a courtesy runner every inning. So now he is substituted by Tad Kirshen, I believe I saw. Is number 17, the license plate. As Ryan Drury comes up. So Kirshen takes the spot of Davis at first. Still men on first and second. Ryan Drury's up. The infield corners are in on the grass. Bunt is showed. Pop up. Moore comes over, and he makes the grab. That was not an easy grab for Will Moore. Charging forward, immediately has to break to his left. By the way, he's in foul territory, and the ball's traveling over his shoulder. Great catch for Will Moore, an easy pop 3 in the book. One down, still men on first and second, brings up Cody Davis. Davis, the left-handed hitting, left-handed throwing starting pitcher for Albuquerque. 0 for 1 with a K. A backwards one at that. Men on first and second for him, 1 out. He will swing away, and he fouls off his first pitch. And I point out that he's swinging away because the last 2 batters have bunted. One got away with larceny, the other one did not. John Davis should really be out. It was a blooper of a bunt. But Richie overcharged, couldn't make the catch. 0-1 from McGuire. Fastball inside, just missed low. Ball and a strike now, the count here to Davis. So Davis 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That was the 5th of what are currently 8 Kyle McGuire Ks in the book. Can't speak highly enough about his start tonight. 1-1. Fastball misses low. 2 balls and a strike now, the count. Kirshen on first. Siri at second. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. The Hardhats trying to protect an 8-0 advantage. McGuire takes a look at the base path. 2-1 tying away. 3 balls and a strike. McGuire's 1 pitch away from a bases loaded jam. Three and 1 the count. McGuire from his stretch. A look at second. And the 3-1's low and inside for ball 4. So it's just the second base on balls that McGuire has surrendered. However, it comes at a very inopportune time. Bases are now loaded for Albuquerque. That's going to bring up Dawson Burton, the shortstop. Burton 0 for 2. A backwards K and a fly out to left. Back to the top of the order here for Albuquerque. Bases are loaded. 1 out. First pitch, low, ball 1. McGuire about to throw his 73rd pitch in this start, which he's registered 8 strikeouts, just 2 bases on balls. Quite a healthy average tonight. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Ball and a strike now the count. McGuire, a high-velocity fastball pitcher going with the changeup. Crucial pitch in the arsenal. Evens the count up at 1-1 here for Burton. 1-1. Swung on, and the ball is hit to first. Moore gets the bobble. Throw to home is in time. Great defensive recovery by Will Moore. It looked like as he charged from first, he was going to bobble and blow the play up. Instead, he settles it with the bare hand, throws to Stevens at home, and he gets the lead runner. So it is a 1-2 fielder's choice. 2 outs. Series out at home. Kirshen advances to third. Davis advances to second. It's still bases loaded, and it's going to bring up Camden Pfeiffer, the left-handed hitting left fielder. 0 for 2 as well, a pop out and a strikeout. First pitch from McGuire. Swung on, and the ball weakly hit to McGuire. He's going to field that. Underhand toss to first in time, and the 1-3 putout will retire the side. So the Hardhats get out of a jam, and they strand the bases loaded for Albuquerque. No runs on a pair of hits with no errors charged to the Hardhats. 3 men stranded on every base. 4.5 innings in the books. The Hardhats are still up. 8-0. Back to the sticks they go. Zach Solano, Cooper Bowman, and Eric Petrie do up, barring any substitutions on offense. We'll be right back on the official radio home of Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Well, the Hard Hats transition from defense to offense. They come now to the bottom half of the fifth inning with an 8-0 lead over Albuquerque. Cody Davis has been one heck of a trooper for this Albuquerque club, the starting pitcher. He's thrown 106 pitches and is now back out on the mound. He will face Zach Solano, Cooper Bowman, and Eric Petrie. It looks like at least the first two batters will not be substituted. Solano comes up 0 for 2 with a sac fly RBI under his belt, also a strikeout. He leads off the bottom half of the fifth. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth for the bottom half of this fifth inning. Hard Hats with an 8-0 lead. First pitch to Solano, a called strike. Breaking pitch on the inside corner. He starts behind 0-1. Numbers across the board through 4.5 for Albuquerque. No runs, 3 hits, 3 errors. And for the Hard Hats, 8 runs on 8 hits. No blemishes on defense. 0-1. Off-speed pitch high and away evens the count to ball and a strike. Now, it should be pointed out, with this being a 7-inning game, that if the Hard Hats plate 2 runs, the game will end by virtue of the 10-run rule. If they fail to score 2 runs, we'll get right back from the top half of the sixth. 1-1. High pitch on another off-speed. 2 balls and a strike. So 2 change-ups from Davis back-to-back. Cooper Bowman on deck. He has a hat trick of singles. A hat trick of RBI singles, I should say. Here comes the 2-1 to Solano. Swung on. That ball is hit high in the air to shallow left. Coming from shortstop is Dawson Burton, and into left, unable to make the catch, is Camden Pfeiffer. And Solano is going to take 2 bases. Another instance where the outfield and the infield can't decide who's going to catch, nor do they get to the ball in time. But they're going to rule this one an error. Whether it's on the left fielder or the shortstop, we have yet to determine, but I think arguments could be made for either position. So Zach Solano takes a 2-base error and is safe at second. And that will bring up Cooper Bowman with a chance to knock him in for a 4th RBI hit. First pitch, that ball is swung on and it's hit high in the air to left. Camden Pfeiffer is charging into left center into the gap, and the ball is dropped on the play. And Zach Solano is going to advance to third, and Cooper Bowman is going to take second. Back-to-back errors. Back-to-back 2-base errors, I should say. And now it's 2 men in scoring position, and here comes the big bat of Eric Petrie. That one is going to go against the center fielder in Caden Seary. He was charging, as was Pfeiffer. But Seary had the better play on the ball, just couldn't make it happen. So 2 men in scoring position. That's now going to bring us to Eric Petrie. Petrie in the ball game is 1 for 2, an RBI double, a walk, and a fly out to right. And it looks like we're going to have a conference on the mound with head coach Garcia of this Albuquerque club. And it looks like we will have a pitching change. Chad Kirshen, who came in to pinch run for the catcher John Davis, the last time Albuquerque took to the sticks, will come in to pitch now for Cody Davis. And Davis, that is being escorted off the field with a lot of applause, as should be the case. 111 pitches thrown by him in this start. And he went 4+ innings. And allowed 8 runs on 8 hits. But should not be credited for any of the 2 runs that are on the bases right now. He's had 5 errors to worry about with his defense behind him. So we'll take a quick recess for 30 seconds. We'll be right back after the warm-up pitches are thrown by Chad Kirshen. He will face Eric Petrie, should he not be substituted for this at-bat. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
49.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1940.
Well, Chad Kirshen now comes out on the mound for Cody Davis. And Tom, you and I were talking about it earlier. That was a rough go for Davis. And 111 pitches, they literally ran him into the ground. And so much of what has happened for Albuquerque, you can't put on his shoulders.
No, I mean, we probably have seen 5 what I would term routine plays in this game turn into 2 base errors or base hits. Poor pitcher Davis, boy, he deserved a lot better. You said he threw 111 pitches, and I'm guessing he probably threw 40 of those over the course of this game after there should have been 3 outs in an inning or another hitter should have been retired on a routine play. So it's unfortunate for Albuquerque that they've made so many mistakes tonight.
So he allows 8 runs. All of them were earned, by the way, on 8 hits. He had 5 strikeouts to 5 walks in the ballgame. And now Chad Kirshen intentionally walks Eric Petrie. That's a pretty easy start to a relief appearance, an intentional walk. So now that loads up the bases. No one out, and it brings up Will Moore, who struck out looking on a borderline questionable pitch. So we'll see now Chad Kirshen. The first real batter that he's going to face is Will Moore. Bases are loaded. Petrie's on first. Bowman's on second. Solano's on third. And the first pitch. Will Moore absolutely torches it down the third base line, but it is foul. 0-1 the count. My goodness, you had to hit the deck on that. Jeez. That could have been dangerous. No balls and a strike to count here to Moore. Bases are juiced. 8-0's the Hardhats lead. He's looking to pile it on. 0-1. Pitches up high on Moore. Ball and a strike to count. Now, we mentioned earlier the Hardhats have an 8-0 lead. Should they plate 2, which Will could do on a good, solid base hit, the game will come to its conclusion via the 10-run rule. Nobody out. Bases loaded. The infield's in, by the way. They're trying to save this game from ending early. 1-1, off-speed pitch, called strike. Looked like it was at the ankles of Moore, but nonetheless, it's 1-2. Chad Kirshen looking for the strikeout in his first batter faced, and the 1-2 was swung on again. It's drilled third base side. And some of the Hardhats sitting to the outside of that dugout hit the deck again. Whew. Will Moore could have easily ended someone's life with those foul balls. 1 ball, 2 strike the count now to Will Moore. And the pitch from Kirshen. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Moore strikes out for the second time in this ballgame. That's the first strikeout registered by Kirshen. The bases are still loaded. There's now 1 out. And that'll bring us to Zach Sumption, who hit a bloop double on what, again, Tom, you would call one of those team errors. And I think after watching today's game, we should start making the case for that to actually be a track statistic. We'll elaborate on that in a little bit. First pitch to Sumption, bases loaded. He fouls it. First base side, 0-1. And Tom has brought this up numerous times where if you run into a Bermuda Triangle scenario, or you run into a scenario where someone's not called off the ball, instead of charging the error to one person because you can't statistically, you charge it to the team itself. And 100% you're right.
Well, it'll never happen because Major League Baseball has rejected it, so you won't see it.
0-1 Assumption misses outside 1-1. Now, why has Major League Baseball rejected that? Because it seems like it could be a useful statistic.
I agree. I really don't know what their rationale would be. The only outside possibility might be the NCAA might look at it.
1-1. Misses low and away. 2 balls and a strike now the count. And that's a good point because in a lot of sports, some NCAA rules will differ from its professional counterpart. Never know. That could be one. Bases are loaded here for Assumption. There's 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. The Hardhats trying to walk off with a 10-run rule win. Next pitch to Assumption, a called strike at his knees outside corner. From Chad Kirshen, the relief pitcher for Albuquerque. Deuces now the count here to Assumption. Bases are juiced and 1 out. Hardhats have an 8-0 lead. A solid base hit will end the ball game via the 10-run rule. 2-2 to Assumption. Swung on, and that ball is hit to second. It takes a weird chop. Throw to second for 1 out. Throw to first, not going to get there. So it's a 4-6 fielder's choice. Assumption knocks in the run. They could not turn the double play, so Solano scores from third. Bowman advances to third. Petrie called out at second. So it is men on the corners with 2 outs. And Todd Stevens with a base hit can end this ball game. So Kirshen looking to keep this game going at least 1 more inning. 9-0 is now the Hardhats lead. How about this? 1 run on no hits. And we've seen 4 men take to the base path. First pitch. Called strike inside on Stevens. A fastball.
Well, we run that game this morning in the bottom of the 6th with 2 runs on no hits. 6-4 over Mountain View.
That's a great point. That's what walks and errors will do to you. In this case, 2 errors for Albuquerque. Next pitch to Stevens. He fouls it. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Stevens has men on the corners and 2 outs. A 9-0 lead for his Hardhats club. If he gets a base hit, the ball game will end. Scoring Cooper Bowman to make it 10-0 after 5 innings. On first is Assumption. On third is Bowman. No balls, 2 strikes to count to Stevens. And Kirshen deals. Low. And the runner takes off, but there is no throw. So a defensive indifference puts Zach Assumption on second. A ball and 2 strikes now to count to Todd Stevens. So it takes away the easy force at second should Stevens keep this in the infield. 1-2. Hits him on the bucket. And that is why you wear that helmet. So a hit batsman charged to Kirshen. Stevens got right back up like it was nothing. So good to see that he's okay. So 2 outs. The bases are once again loaded. That's going to bring us to Dylan Ritchie, who came in to pinch hit for Justin Kramer. He reached on an error in the last inning. That would be the bottom of the 4th in which he came up. So once again, if Ritchie gets a base hit, the game's over. As Stevens takes to first, and again, good to see that he's all right, but that's exactly why you wear the helmet. Bases juiced here for Dylan Ritchie, and his first pitch is swung on, and it's pushed just foul. First base side. 0-1 the count to the now Hardhats third baseman. Ritchie 0 for 1 in the ballgame. Has a chance to end it right here. And the 0-1. Swung on, and the ball is weakly hit to the mound. Kirshen gets the stop. The throw to first is off track. The run scores, and that is going to end the ball game. As safe at home as Cooper Bowman, what should have been a 1-3 putout is another error. The 6th one of the ball game for Albuquerque, and E1 scores the run, and the Hardhats take a 10-0 win over Albuquerque. What a crazy finish to this ball game we saw. 3 errors in the final frame. 10-0 is the victory for Post 22. Tom and I will be right back in just a few moments, tabulate some stats, give you some parting thoughts, and we'll set the table for tomorrow night's big matchup of this tournament against Sioux Falls East. at 7 o'clock here at the Fitz. Stick around, folks. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, 105.7 FM and 1340 AM.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Post 22 winning here by a score of 10-0. Getting off to a run in the first inning, 4 in the second, 3 in the third, and wrapping it up with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning to win the game on the 10-run rule in 5 innings. Post 22 with 10 runs, 8 hits, and no errors in the game. They stranded 11. No runs, 3 hits, 6 errors, and 5 left for Albuquerque. And I think the story of this game was the Albuquerque defense, or lack of it, I should say. 6 errors by Albuquerque really hurt their pitcher, Cody Davis, who was forced to throw 111 pitches and just couldn't withstand all of those errors. Cooper Bowman had 3 hits in the game and 4 RBIs for Post 22 in the game. A couple of RBIs for Walker Paz, as Post 22 wins to go to 25-3 on the season. Albuquerque drops to 4 wins and 7 losses on the season. Kyle McGuire pitched a great game, Mark.
Absolutely, he did. I'm just tabulating his final stat line right now, Tom. He went 5 innings of shutout baseball, a 3-hit shutout at that, 8 strikeouts to 2 walks. He did it all on 75 pitches, and I don't know what's amazing. The fact that he pitched the shutout, the fact that he did everything that he did, that I said he did on 75 pitches, or that he went 8 strikeouts to 2 walks. I'd personally fight for the latter on that one because you and I were talking about focus and discipline from this pitching staff, limiting bases on balls, and Kyle, he attacked, 8 strikeouts under his belt. He had a fantastic performance on the mound, and here's hoping that sets the trend for Hard Hats pitching moving forward. When you see some of these pitchers on their stat lines and they're 1-for-1 on their walks to strikeout ratio, it's unacceptable, Tom. You and I have talked about it. Entering the game tonight, the Hard Hats had allowed 115 bases on balls. Add the 2 for McGuire, makes it now 117 compared to 189 strikeouts now after tonight. You'd like to see that ratio to about a 3-1. Strikeouts to walks. Obviously, we live in an imperfect world, so you're not going to get that all the time, but we certainly got it from Kyle McGuire, who went 4 strikeouts to a walk on his ratio with 8 strikeouts to 2 in his start tonight.
Albuquerque drops to 0-3 here in the Superior Siding Black Hills Classic. Post 22 is 3-0. Sioux Falls East, tomorrow night's opponent for the Hard Hats, are in progress right now over at Pete Lean Field against Rapid City Post 320. East beat this Albuquerque team yesterday 13-3 and then lost to their crosstown rivals Sioux Falls West 8-4 earlier today. So East is playing right now against 320, and be interesting to see that final score tonight, and then look ahead to our game tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Absolutely, and you and I were talking at the start of this tournament that as far as the Sioux Falls region is concerned, over on the opposite side of the state, that Sioux Falls East and Renner are doing some great things right now. We won't get to see Renner just yet. We might have to wait until state tournament play for that one, but Sioux Falls East, though, we do get to see them tomorrow night. We've heard a lot of great things about their club, and here's hoping it shapes up to be a good ball game.
Tomorrow's schedule here in the Superior Siding Black Hills Classic here at Fitzgerald Stadium. 1 o'clock tomorrow, Colorado Springs will take on Sioux Falls East. Now, Colorado Springs has won their 2 games here in the Classic. They beat Albuquerque 9-3 and then beat Upper Deck 10-5. At 4 o'clock, Sioux Falls West will take on this Albuquerque team. And at 7 o'clock, Sioux Falls East in Post 22. First pitch at 7. You can watch it and listen to it on Hardhats-TV. And, of course, we'll have the broadcast here on ESPN Radio about 6:45 tomorrow night. I don't know what else to say. Very disappointed in Albuquerque's play tonight. I'm not picking on their team, and I know their players are trying hard. They have a very limited roster, 12 guys. But they, I think one of the issues from their outfielders in retrospect, and I'm not using this as an excuse because I don't really think it's an issue, but it appeared to be with a couple of their outfielders, was picking up the ball in the lights here tonight at certain times. So, that hurt them. They competed. They had a great chance with the bases loaded and 1 out in the top of the 5th, but couldn't score. So Albuquerque will regroup and play tomorrow at 4 o'clock against Sioux Falls West. Again, we'll have Sioux Falls East tomorrow night. That's about all I can say, Mark. Good night.
Yeah, good night, Tom. Absolutely. I think that's where we end it for tonight. So like Tom said, tomorrow we will be on at 6:45 on ESPN Radio Rapid City for my super outstanding partner, Tom Rudabush, and our director of Hardhats-TV, Destin Human. This is Mark Minetti saying so long and good night. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Sioux Falls East and Post 22 Showdown.